Sorrento Therapeutics up 60% in the past week after striking a licensing agreement with Columbia University for its rapid one-step COVID-19 test that samples saliva and can detect the coronavirus in just 30 minutes. It's called COVID-Trace, and it gives a simple positive or negative color change result. Joining us now in a first on CNBC interview is Henry Ji, the co-founder and CEO of Sorrento Therapeutics. Very good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having us on the program.
So it almost sounds too good to be true, a simple 30-minute turnaround saliva test. How confident are you in its accuracy?
Actually, the inventor is Dr. Zil Williams from Columbia University Medical Center. He and his group in the lab doing the prenatal testing with the same technology very often to search for genetic signatures, and they apply the same technology to the COVID-19 viral genome, and finding the technology works very, very well. When we say very, very well, that means the accuracy is very well. Within the sensitivity side, right now is about a 97. That means positive is positive, not false negative. And the specificity is negative as negative. Right now is at the small sample is about 100%. We're very excited about the invention and the technology from Columbia University.
How expensive are these tests?
So right now, if a small scale, it's going to be very expensive. However, our goal is to have this one large quantity manufactured so that we can have the product in the 10% of the range of the people's having right now. It's all in the $200 a test, which is not acceptable if you have to test it quite often, multiple times in a week. So if it gets to a range of a few cups of coffees for test, you will see people testing this one quite often.
I mean, the possibilities are endless here. You think about how to open schools and how to go on planes and feel more secure. If it's just a quick spit test, change color, you know you're good. How do you make that a reality? Are you seeking FDA approval? I mean, how do you actually take this and put it into practice? Because we all desperately need something like this.
Absolutely. What we have is right now have a plan in places. We're going to try to submit the EUA in the next 2 weeks. And we're doing the samples with the saliva and testing the positive and negative, make sure the accuracy is very, very high as the technology potentially providing. Meanwhile, the results has to be instantaneous, and within 30 minutes, that will open up the society. And meanwhile, the cost has to be low too. The cost has to be low such that you're not charging people $100 for a few days waiting, which is useless results. If you get to a few couple of coffees and the same 30 minutes or within an hour, you get the results, you're going to be open up the society completely.
That said, I guess we're not quite there at a point where this would be done on a daily basis, for example, as people return to the office or arrive at a sports stadium for an event, because 30 minutes delay and the cost you're talking about, I guess, make it still a little prohibitive for that sort of level of rollout.
So what we have in mind is to have the large quantity manufacture. If we can get to tens of millions testing a day, then you will be able to charge this one, at the 10 or under $1. So that way you can test it multiple times a day. So that will be able to open up the society. So we got a lot of work to do to make sure we're going to be able to commercially produce large quantity of the test. If such, that we're going to be able to help every one of the aspect of the society to open up the school, to open up the convention center, to open up the sports events.
You've got a lot of fans. Your stock's up 30% right now. It's been on a tear ever since this licensing deal was announced. I want to also ask about the work you've been doing on antibody treatments. I know you've been also testing antibodies like we've seen from a number of the big companies like Regeneron and Glaxo and Lilly. What point are you at on those tests? And are you looking at them as a treatment or as preventative?
So firstly, as a treatment, as we talked with the FDA and got their guidance that firstly got to get into the treatment, and we are about a couple of weeks away filing the IND. We have the clinical material already made, and we are right now packaging, ready to submit the IND in the next 2 weeks or so. And with this, it gets into treatment. If this works on the safety side first and potentially effective in reducing the symptom, we're going to be able to move very aggressively into a large study, both on the treatment side and potentially prevention side. And we're very, very encouraged by the data we're seeing, especially in the animal study, which we feel we have very, very potent compounds. We're extremely excited about it and comfortable with where we're at.
So it sounds like you're a few months behind, though, some of the bigger companies, like Regeneron, for instance, which is in phase 3 trials. Is that right?
Yes. However, we have a differentiation. The way we're doing it is we have the antibody engineer such that we try to avoid potential antibody-dependent enhancement, which is the big issue concern that's called ADE. If you have this type of effect with the antibody, and sometimes from either vaccination or from an antibody you use, that could be even cause worse situation for the viral infection. So we are very careful to how to avoiding all these pitfalls, especially for the therapeutic and prevention. When you have a lot of people testing, a small percentage of that is not acceptable. So we're very careful with our antibodies.